Uh, Meera, over to Meera. Meera Ranjan would like she would like to introduce Dr. Ravi Samuel to all of you. Yes, Meera.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Meera Ranjan, and I am here to introduce Dr. Ravi Samuel. Self-esteem, in simple terms, is what you think about yourself, says Dr. Ravi Samuel. We must have a positive self-esteem to bring out the best in ourselves. We must have the confidence to face failures to succeed in life. Few failures are bound to happen, and we should not lose our confidence over it. Every person is unique. Ask yourself this question: how long have you spent finding out what is special or unique in you? We must muster the self esteem to persuade ourselves to dive into the unknown, to explore new fields, and showcase our uniqueness to the world. Now, I would like to talk a little about Dr. Ravi Samuel. After school, he realized that there were not many therapists to help people to improve their mental health. The secret of success is to stay humble no matter what. One must never let pride overtake. You can show your might in your performance, but not in your attitude towards others. That is his motto. He used to put in about 16 hours of work every day, but he used to spend the weekends pursuing his hobbies, practicing religion, and rejuvenating himself. Dr. Ravi Samuel has a postgraduate certificate in applied research methodology from Thames Valley University in London. He also has an MPhil in social work from Loyola College, Chennai. He has a doctorate in medical and psychiatric social work from Madras University, Chennai. He is a consultant psychotherapist, has clinical experience of 28 years in India and 1 year in the UK. He is an associate member of Indian Psychiatric Society. He has been trained in cognitive behavior therapy (CBT) by Mr. Alan Davidson, cognitive behavior therapist at Department of Clinical Neurology, Institute of Neurology at the National Hospital for Neurology and Neurosurgery at Queen Square in London. Among his patients, teenagers occupy about 20%. Teenagers of this generation tend to have extreme views. They need to have the capacity to handle failure. People must have the confidence to face failure if they want to succeed in life. I feel that this is a very different outlook that Dr. Ravi Samuel has. In this digital era, teenagers often fall prey to the negative effects of social media. After taking CBT, people flourish. They have the confidence to pursue their dreams and overcome roadblocks. CBT helps teenagers identify their flawed areas and work upon them. Teenagers learn to prioritize their career and beat distractions. I'm sure we would all be very eager now to meet and read Dr. Ravi Samuel. I welcome you, sir, and I'm sure we all would have a lot to take away from this session. Over to you, Dr. Ravi Samuel.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Before I start, I'd like to thank three very important people who are instrumental in giving shape to this. Of course, I'd like to start with Meera, who gave a very beautiful introduction after interviewing me yesterday, spending time to understand what kind of work that I do and why I do this and how I do this. The next comes Sarvesh. He beautifully designed the poster and has been helping us in so many ways. I thank him for his time, his volunteering, and his energy that he has brought into this. And Raghavi, if not for Raghavi, we won't be all sitting together here. She put all the numbers into the WhatsApp group, and they could communicate to us because of that. So it requires lots of patience and accuracy to do that work. So thank you, Raghavi, for this excellent work. What the three of you have done is almost a prelude to my talk. One helps with the logistics. One helps with the program to introduce the speaker. Another one helps to bring people, attract people through the poster. So this is what self-esteem is all about. You can be very good in your studies, but would that guarantee you success? Not at all. Not at all. There are many academicians whom people do not like to talk to. They don't like to be associated at all. They don't like to associate with those people. So what is the point if you have the intelligence, if you have the talent, but you do not have a good self-esteem, you become so arrogant about yourself. You get arrogant about your intelligence for which you are not, it's not your work. Intelligence is what we are born with. You cannot take pride of what you are born with. Color, for that matter, it's something we are born. Can we be very proud and prudent? Certainly not. So your self-esteem is going to play a very crucial role in shaping you as a person and in helping you succeed. So you spend time on developing your self-esteem the right way. There are a lot of people who have lots of faulty ideas. Doctor, if I feel very proud about myself, then that would bring my downfall, because there is a nice proverb which says pride leads to downfall. So you have to understand what constitutes self-esteem and how to go about building it. Right. I'm very fond of this quote on self-esteem. A strong, positive self-image is the best preparation for success in life. You may think sitting and preparing for studies is important. Yes, that is also important, but much more important is what kind of a self-image you have. If you have a good self-image, you can face any kind of bullying, because it's very common in schools and colleges to be bullied. So if you have a strong self-image, yes, this is what I am, then nobody can shake that up. If someone says, no, you are not capable of this, you will say, that's your opinion. I am capable. I will succeed. If someone says, why are you so dark? You will say, this is what I am born with. There are many people who are dark and who are superstars and high achievers. So I don't mind being dark. So what impression you develop is going to help you face this world in terms of any kind of criticism. Right. To build a house, or even in your own house, you would notice there are bricks, there is cement, there is woodwork, then there is electrical work, then there are clothes which are used as curtains. So you require multiple components to build a house. If you have only one single component, like just the brick and the cement, it will be like the house which is on the right. Unless you are holistically developing, you must be good in your studies, you must be good in your socialization skills, you must be good in your life skills. So like that, you should have multiple domains of your personality developing. Only then you become a holistic person. Right. This is to highlight the fact that all of us have different types of intelligence. I often notice people comparing with others. Oh, doctor, my neighbor is scoring so much, I'm only scoring this much. He's a better doctor. Doctor, this person sings very well. She goes and sings on dais, whereas nobody invites me to sing. So I'm unable to feel good about myself. All of us should understand that each of us have a intelligence. Someone can have interpersonal intelligence like Meera, who can interview someone who is very senior and establish rapport and get inputs for introduction. Someone can be very good in linguistic. They can write well. They can write poems. They can write articles. Then someone else can be very good with their physical abilities. They can run marathon. They will be a sports person. Then someone can be very good with intrapersonal, like me, who analyzes the inside self of people. You analyze and give solutions. Then there are some people who are very philosophical in nature. They talk about the purpose of life. They talk about how to understand our existence. And there are some people who are very good with their logical reasoning, mathematical skills. They score centum. I met a guy who never scored anything less than a centum in mathematics. So there are people who are extremely talented, intelligent in one sphere. Then there are some people who are very, very good in music. Very good in music. When they hear a song, they can say what ragam it is. When I hear a song, I only hear the rhythm and I only hear the lyrics. I just cannot say what ragam it is. I have no clue what it is. So obviously my musical abilities are very low. Similarly, there are intelligence towards nature. People who understand animals, people who understand how animals behave, when to be scared of animals, when to be friendly with the animals, when to be away from the animals. So like this, different people are endowed with different intelligence. So you need to first of all understand that all of us have our talent. You can challenge me in that. You can challenge me in that. There is no one who can say, doctor, I'm not talented. All of us are talented, but the trick is identifying what our talents are. I can assure you, since I meet people every day, half the people I meet do not know what their talents are. So the first work is to identify what is my talent. A.R. Rahman cannot feel bad that he is not able to bat like Tendulkar or Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli cannot feel bad because he is not able to compose music. So each one is talented in their own field. So our job is to identify is my talent. Then imagine I told you I am good at intrapersonal work and interpersonal work. If I become a researcher and I'm doing logical reasoning, I'll be a very average person there. If I choose a career on which my talents are, then I excel. So that's how you have to choose your career. We have to have a multi-domain approach in life. What does this mean? This means your childhood experiences are very, very important. Whatever that you go through, the people with whom you talk, the people with whom you are friends. If you are friends with jerks, I promise you, you will become a jerk sooner or later. If you are friends with intellectual people, you become intellectual. If you are sitting with guys who are constantly talking about girls, then all your mind is full of girls. Similarly, the same applies to the girls too. If they are constantly talking about boys, that's what will fill your mind. Not that it's bad to talk about boys or girls, but there is a proportion at which you can use that. The second is extracurricular activities. What kind of activities are you engaging in? Are you engaging in singing, dance, poetry, or writing skills? Very important. You also improve your skills, which would make you feel good. You may be average in studies, but extraordinary in extracurricular. So that balances. Otherwise, you will learn to believe that you are a less capable person, which you should not allow it to happen. There are people who are good in sports. So if you are one of them, focus on sports. Socialization is very, very important. You need to socialize as much as possible with people who would enable you, with people who will enhance your capabilities, not with people who are just talking and whiling away the time, wasting each other's time by bullying, by talking about silly things like movies. You have to constantly enhance yourself with knowledge, because knowledge is power. You need to be with people who give you an additional knowledge each day. The other is interpersonal relationship, which is very, very vital. You cannot have a bad interpersonal relationship. You need to know to accept criticism. You need to know how to manage a conflict. If someone disagrees, they are not hating us. They are just disagreeing with some aspect of our logical reasoning. So you have to bifurcate the personal relationship as against the acceptance and conflicts that can happen. There are a lot of people who split because they had a fight. Fighting and conflicts are part of relationship building. We have to be friends in spite of the fight. We have to be friends in spite of the conflicts. That's when we develop interpersonal relationships. Otherwise, you will get married. On the first fight, you will say, oh no, this fellow is fighting, I don't want to live with him. That's not the way it works. Life skills. Very, very vital. What are life skills? Life skills are nothing but learning household work. You should know to cook. You should know to do housekeeping. You should know to manage your entire household work. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine came to UK to study. On day one, I suggested I take him out for dinner. He said, just give me 15 minutes. I'll make rice, I'll make karakorambu, and I'll make little kuttu with some vegetables. We'll eat here itself. Otherwise, we have to walk 4 kilometers in Buckinghamshire to go and have our dinner. And then walking down 4 kilometers back. By the time we come back 4 kilometers walking, we feel hungry again. So we have to carry food. So very important you learn life skills, because now the world has become an expanded community. There are people traveling all over. You may think I may not go abroad and study, but you will end up sitting in the US university sooner or later. So always develop your life skills. For that, all you need to do is help parents. Help your parents with their minor tasks. Learn as you help them. The very act of helping is to learn, not just providing physical support. Also develop your personal qualities. If you know to play an instrument, practice every day. If you are a singer, sing every day and practice. If you have extraordinary talents, but you are a very rude person because you have so much of head weight, nobody will come and talk to you. Nobody would like to even associate with you. So have good values and morals. Be a trustworthy person. You cannot be a genius and very untrustworthy. Then your marketability in life would be zero. So you need to have very high values. You should not copy. You should not indulge in any kind of malpractice. As a student, you should have self-righteousness. You should feel proud. You should have the sense of pride. Yes, I may suffer, but I'm doing the right thing. So I'd like to do the right thing. The last one, but not the least, some of us are endowed with academic capabilities. We are very good. We know to score very high marks, but that's not the end of life. That will not assure us success. There are people who are very good with vocational aspects. They may not study well, but you may be an extraordinary musician. So just do the basics of studying, then launch your music career. If you are a very good artist, then just do the basics like a +2 and then a graduation, and then launch your career as an actor, as an actress, or as an artist. It can be anything. It can be anything. So very important that you don't get stuck up. I'm not good in music, so that's the end of my life. No, nothing is end of your life. Failures are not end of your life. You may suddenly fail in a subject. That does not mean it's end of your life. You may suddenly fail in a academic year. That's not end of life. End of life is the point at which you give up. In boxing, they say it's not a fault to fall down. The referee will disqualify only if the person does not get up. So that should be our spirit. It's okay to fall, but spring up into your feet again and carry on. I'm forced to show this slide in comparison with the earlier multi-domain approach. Some people have a single domain approach. What is that? All that they do is mobile phone. All the time on mobile phone. There is no developing extracurricular. There is no interpersonal. There is nothing to develop about their academic, non-academic, extracurricular skills. All that they are doing is watching mobile phone endlessly. Right. Now I want you to quickly note this down, but do the exercise later. The exercise is write 5 things that you are proud of yourself. Write 5 things you're proud of yourself. Right, you can write it later so that I'll move on with the presentation. Self-esteem is basically formed in our minds through our thoughts. How you view yourself, what kind of an image you have about yourself. Many times I do this very interesting exercise. I ask people, tell me about a hero. They will all tell about a film industry hero. He is not the real hero. There are people to do the makeup. There is a director telling him what to do. There are 10 people helping him to do. They are not the heroes. Heroes and heroines are real life people who are out there in the field, working, toiling, bringing out their best. Not all of us have very good circumstances. There are people who have very limited resources. They may have very little money, but in spite of that, they do things well. They may not have even a laptop at home, but still they may do well. So that's what is inspiring. So do not look at the movie heroes. They are good for nothing fellows. Second is, how do you interpret events? If you fail in a class test, do you think it's the end of the world? Do you think, okay, the way I prepared is not good enough. Now I need to change that and I have to change my way of preparation. So how you interpret an event matters a lot. And third is childhood experiences. If you have many positive activities, then you have many positive experiences. If you're just sitting and watching mobile phone, then all the time your parents are telling you, please stop watching the phone, go and study, please stop watching TV, go and do this, go and do that. So you are getting irritated and you are getting very angry with your parents. What kind of people are around you? What kind of friends you have? Are they people who appreciate you? Are they people who boost your personality, boost your self-esteem? Or are they people who bring you down? Then you know what to choose. If you want to feel good, you have to be in the company of people who praise you, who appreciate you, who bring out the best in you, who tell you about your capabilities, which you were not aware yourself. Then last thing is, have an accurate evaluation of self. Because many people have an over exaggerated view of self. They go for music class for about 20 days, then they sing like they think they have become a singer. No, it takes at least 5-6 years of constant practice to become a singer. Similarly in dance. So in whatever you do, have a very accurate view of yourself. Right, this again I want all of you to do, and maybe you can mail it to me or WhatsApp me. I want all of you to write 7 appreciations you received this year. Not ones that you made for yourself, but appreciations you received. Right. All of us have an inner critic or others who are constantly bullying us. Why does this happen? Because we are all prone to little negative thinking. So when you want to do something in the class, you might think there are others who are much more talented than me. Let me keep quiet. Let me not do this. You may do very well in studies, but think, oh, there are guys who are scored centum, so they are better than me. So let me not. So like this, there is something called inner critic within all of us, which constantly keeps putting you down. So you have to challenge your inner critic. If your inner critic says maybe you're not capable, you should say, I'm going to make efforts and I'm going to succeed in this. And normally you should focus on your efforts, not on the outcome. You may come first in the class because you may be the most intelligent person, but in the next standard, there may be 5 other guys who are far more intelligent than you, and you may be beaten there. So do not compare. Don't have that comparison as an yardstick to feel good. Focus on your efforts. I'm capable of this much hours of study. Have I done that? Or have I not done that? And this is my most favorite point, dare to fail. Don't feel bad to fail. Even if you think I may fail in this, do that. Because only if you dare to fail, you can succeed. If you do not dare to fail, you will never succeed because you will never try. The fear of failure is what keeps us from moving forward. So just tell yourself, I don't mind failing. So avoid toxic words, phrases, sentences. There are many people who say, oh, doctor, I'm stupid, doctor, I'm just not capable of doing this calculation. Oh, doctor, I'm good for nothing, doctor, I made these many mistakes. So don't give room for all these. Do not use those toxic words, sentences. The next exercise I want all of you to do, identify 7 toxic words or phrases you use against yourself. It can be, I'm good for nothing, doctor, I'm hopeless, like that. So try to identify it. The last slide, be stubborn to feel good. It can be a small effort. It can be a small achievement, but feel good about yourself. Feel good, whatever be the bullying people do, whatever others say about you, even your own family members may compare you. The opposite house guy is studying so well, he is scoring so much marks. Do not buckle down to that. Feel good about yourself at all times by believing in yourself. Thank you very much. Now, if you have any queries, I'm very happy to answer.
Sir,
Yep.
so this is Harshit, sir.
Yep.
So I have I have a pretty good, like, I speak pretty well. So I've decided to start podcast. I decided to start podcasting. Is I think you know what podcasting is. So I'm not really good at writing scripts. So what I've preferred to is like open Google and start like it's like a horror, like like about unsolved mysteries. So my mother usually says, like, why do you waste time on it? Like, why don't you spend that time preferably reading? Like, why don't you just do that?
Yeah.
So like what